Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by if you're new. Today I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for 2020. For 2018 and 2019 I had this Leuchtturm 1917, which is, you know, something that a lot of people have, and I immediately wasn't the biggest fan of this book. There are just a couple of things that I'm not the biggest fan of, but mostly my problem with it, it's not really a problem, but mostly my issue with it was the paper. I'm not the biggest fan of this paper. So here I have the 2019 calendar, and on the back here, so here is a bunch of pen tests that I did on this paper, and you can see even from here that it was ghosting a lot, like a little bit of bleed through, but to be honest, that's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue is the texture. It's not bad paper at all. It's actually really nice paper, but it's not as good, in my humble opinion, as Moleskine. I have had several Moleskine notebooks. I've had the little mini size. I've had this size, I believe, I've had this size in the lined, but I've never had the dotted notebook. Now if you compare it to the Leuchtturm, you see the size. It's not a 5, it's a little bit shorter right here, and I've also gotten the soft cover this time around. So let me open this up. You know you're a stationery nerd when you like squeal over a notebook. So here it is. Ooh, it is quite flexible. I got the same, well, not the same, but I've got a similar color. This is a more bluish color, and this is obviously a little more green, but I do like this color. The elastic is very soft, and ooh, so fancy. Sorry, it's just, it feels so, it feels like such good quality. I was worried. I've never had, I think, a soft cover Moleskine before. So with Moleskines, all these like things, they usually have a second purpose so you can recycle them, and this one is, this is a hanging message system. Fold it here, and it's like, oh, it's like a little hanging on your door thing. I've had ones that are like little calendars or like things like that. This one is a little bit more on the useless side, for me anyway, but okay, that's fine. And so let me just take you through this in case you are thinking about getting this book for 2020. So you do have, this cover really feels nice. It almost feels like real leather, but I don't think it is. And then on the back you do have a pocket, and in here there's usually some goodies. Yep, there's a little book about Moleskine and the history of the company, all that good stuff. A little quality control thing in a bunch of different languages, which is nice. I always keep these, I don't know why. It's printed on such nice paper, you just kind of don't want to throw it away. And that's it. If you get some of the weekly planners or daily planners from Moleskine, you will get a little sticker sheet as well. So on the front cover here it says, here it just says, in case lost, please return to. And then the very next page. And that's it. That's all you get. You don't get any other printed pages. You don't get an index or anything like that. And then it just goes straight into the dot grid. And then it's that lovely, creamy paper. And it has a dot grid of 5 mils, I believe. So if we want to compare it to the Leuchtturm, let's see. These dots are a little bit fainter. These dots are a little bit darker. These dots go to the edge a little more. These dots have a bit of a margin. Let's see if these dots line up all the way. Yep, they line up really nicely. You also get a bookmark here. You get one bookmark with this notebook, and the pages are not numbered. There are 192 pages. The size is 13 by 21 centimeters or 5 inches and 8¼ inches. Expandable inner pocket. The history of Moleskine is inside. That's this notebook, and now I'm going to set it up for 2020 so it can be my bullet journal. I'm so excited. So here's a quick look at everything again. I know that first clip was a little bit out of frame. I'm very sorry about that. But here it all is. You can see the little extra hanging thing and the little booklet and everything like that, and the little title page. First thing I did is I put together my key. I don't know really why I do this, because I have been bullet journaling for so long. I don't really need a key anymore, but I like to put it on that first page of every notebook just because it's a nice way to use up that first page that's stuck to the cover. And the next thing I worked on is the future log. I like to follow a very traditional bullet journal style, but this time I decided to do a vertical future log with 12 months on a double page spread. It was a mistake, I think, because the columns ended up being a bit too narrow, and so I couldn't put in all the date numbers like I wanted to, but it's still going to be functional for me. I then decided that I wanted to add a little bit of color to everything, so I ended up using my Crayola Super Tip in this sort of purple color. And then I moved on to the 2020 goals spread. So I have 2 pages. The first is the 2020 goals for my just general goals, my personal goals, and my business goals. And then on the other side is the fun goals, the reading goals. I like having a Goodreads reading challenge every year, and I also like to give myself a list of books that I would like to read. I have a lot of books on my Goodreads TBR, and I really want to get through them eventually, and a lot of the older ones don't get a lot of attention, so I like to put the older Goodreads TBR books onto that list so that I remember to read them throughout the year. And then next I did another fun spread, a books I read in 2020 spread. I decided to have this spread over 4 pages because I'm anticipating filling it up. And I decided to make it a little bit more fun and add a few doodles. On the first page I did a physical book, and then I drew a little Kindle, and then in the top corner I drew my phone with some headphones to represent audiobooks. And those are the 3 ways that I like to read my books. I also added page numbers at the bottom so that I wouldn't forget that this spread is for my book list. And then after all of that, I went to the back of the notebook and just put in a pen test page. I like to do this for most notebooks, and especially at ones that I'm not familiar with the paper, with some of my favorite pens. And with that, that is my setup for 2020. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you are planning for 2020. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!